In that podcast, he said, quote, "It's got to be a positive. There really is no option for it to be a negative. The whole last year was," and that's an expletive right there, "it happened for a reason. The things we weren't doing weren't sustainable for success. It was necessary. And in turn, good will come out of what happened." Murray sounds upbeat, motivated. He has to be, because what other direction can you go in? Given the track record, the team's track record, it's been a struggle the last couple of years. Can Kyler Murray ultimately find success in Arizona? Julian.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he has to stay available, obviously. He has to limit his hits. I think he's a guy who puts a lot on his body, and adding hits from guys the size of you is not something that's advantageous for him. And so, yeah, I think he could find success. You know, now being in the NFC West with the Seahawks, I want him to have success up until when he plays us. I got to put that out there.
There's two specific dates that you're hoping for an off game.
There's 2 times in the year, exactly right, that we're trying to limit his success everywhere possible. But like you see on the tape, he, you know, his high end, his ceiling is very high. When he's playing at a high level, when he's efficient, this guy is lights out. And then, yeah, when he, you know, has battled some adversity, you know, getting hit and trying to figure things out with his team and the chemistry, obviously that's the low side of things. And so I think he can find that success this year.
I'd say for me, it's going to be an uphill battle for Kyler. The reality is he's super talented. But the questions we've heard over the last year have been about, is he enough of a leader? Is he, you know, studying the level? You heard one of his former teammates, Kelvin Beachum, said, hey, maybe he needs to grow up a little bit. And I don't know if that's what I love to hear about my franchise quarterback, who is, you know, making at the time the second most guaranteed money of any other player in the league. And so I think that this is a very important season and next 2 seasons for Kyler Murray. When you look at what they paid him, what they committed to him, it's hard to get somebody to change after you've paid them, right? And so is he what he currently is good enough? Is he who he is? Like, injuries aside, when he's on the field, he's got to maximize his talent, but that talent is special. I still remember the last time I saw Kyler Murray up close. It was a Week 1 game in 2021. He was playing the Tennessee Titans, and the Titans were hyped up that year. They were coming off a AFC Championship game. They went and got Julio Jones. They were going to be this team. And then Kyler Murray just turned into him. Like, he was the guy that you were like, dude, this guy's a video game type player. I remember looking over to the left, to the right. I'm like, did Kyler just do something crazy again? He had 5 touchdowns that day, over 300 yards, showed just all the talent that made him #1 overall. And I'm like, this guy's going to be an MVP this year. Started to tail off of the back end of the season. And then in 2022, he got hurt. And then some of those question marks came out. And so talent is not the question for me. It's, can you lift a team that right now is going through a huge rebuild and be the franchise quarterback they paid you to be?
Well, I think you guys are putting a lot on his plate. You know, to say, can he be what you just asked, a franchise quarterback? Well, first he needs to make sure he go out there and play right. You know, a lot of the film we saw was him stopping, going, making guys look silly. Can he do that after coming out of a torn ACL or torn, what, Achilles?
It was an ACL, yeah.
Torn ACL, I don't know, you know, and it's one of those things, quarterback, you can't get 2 plays, come out, see how you feel, and get back in there. It's one of those things you got to be in the game all day. And, you know, as defensive guys, if I see that quarterback limping a little bit, oh, that's handoff all day. So then everybody starts creeping up a little bit and starts playing that run game a lot. So I think he's have to show a lot more. And, you know, fortunately, he wasn't able to show how much of a leader he could be, still having questions. But it's going to be a lot harder when he's out there trying to do things in his mind. You know, because I had a Liz Frank injury in my foot. And the first year you come back, it's just like, can I do it? Do I feel good? Is this, you know, it's just a lot of things going in your head. And it's going to take some time to get over that. And I just don't know if he has the time to really answer all those questions without just putting the foot on the tank or gas and just going for it and seeing what happens.
It's really a twofold situation there, because there's all the things that you were talking about, Cam, and the criticism he's gotten off the field and being a leader. But now you've got an injury that you have to come back from that is not the easiest to come back from in terms of the length of time it takes. There's no real speeding that thing up. No. So he went out Week 14 with that ACL injury. We don't know exactly where his timeline is in terms of being back. We don't know when we'll see him. I can tell you last year in Tampa, Chris Godwin I don't want to say rushed back, but they didn't know when he was going to be back. Gets back for week 1. But it wasn't until halfway through the season that he was like, yeah, I'm finally feeling, look, he could go out there and he could be productive and he could play and he did all those things. But it takes a while with an ACL to feel 100%. And now you're a very special player that does very specific things and you can do them with your legs. And it's very unrealistic to expect when Kyler Murray gets back from his ACL, whenever that moment is, that he's going to be the Kyler Murray we're used to seeing. So I think it's a two-pronged situation, because then he also has to answer to other things. And you brought up, what did you say when you said, I don't know if that's what you want to hear about your quarterback in terms of being a leader?
Yeah, Kelvin Beachum, his offensive tackle, former offensive tackle, essentially said, hey, maybe he needs to grow up a little bit, right?
But here's the thing. You said, I don't know if you want to hear that about your quarterback. You're right. But I think Kyler Murray has heard all of that.
Yes.
And if Kyler Murray is the competitor that I think a lot of people think that he is, I would think, you talked about, well, once you've already gotten the contract, I would think that there's got to be a fire burning to prove people wrong, to show them that this is not who I am. He's taken criticism. And so if I'm Kyler Murray, right, he wants to get back on the field. He wants to be healthy. And I would feel like I want to prove people wrong. And I think that the Cardinals have to hope that that's the Kyler Murray they get. And to your point, when I was doing sideline games and I would be like, as close as you can be without playing, there was nobody that was more exciting for me to watch up close was Kyler, because it was like, you talked about Lamar Jackson sort of juking you at one point. Kyler just does it. It's like almost like a sleight of hand. He's doing stuff with such ease, and you don't even realize what he just did until you catch up a couple seconds later. And so just up close and personal, he has been my favorite quarterback to watch up close, the stuff that he can pull out of nowhere and the way he does it in such an effortless manner. I do think the ACL situation, it changes what you can do, not permanently, but your return is not your self at 100%. And I can say that as someone who's also torn an ACL, and you're just not totally back when you get back.
Well, my question is, when did ACL start being 4 or 5 months injuries?
They used to be a lot longer.
Usually a year.
9 to 12, right?
So usually when a guy tears it 14, week 14, you're like, well, we're not going to see him till week 14, 16. So probably not for another year. So when a guy like that, I just, I know what he wants to do, what you want to come out and do, but I just don't understand when these injuries started getting so short where you got to go out there and, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and we understand the physical of what he can do, of what he needs to work through. I think you kind of hit on the head a little bit with the mental side of it. Yeah. He's been facing adversity. People have been talking down on Kyler Murray for years now, for his life off the field and what he does in his spare time, his leadership on the field. I think that as a player, you have to attack your mental game and really understand yourself. The low end of that is, he has that anxiety. He feels a certain way. He struggles with that, or lets the outside talk get to him. And the high side of it is he puts that chip on his shoulder. He battles back. He has good people in his circle to help him in a tough time. It's a lonely time when you're recovering from an injury. It's extremely lonely. And so if he has that close circle around him that can help him and push him forward, I think he can be successful. And so I really hope this offseason he's taking advantage of all his mental tools and resources that, his friends and the team has provided him.
I think that's a great point, Julian. When Sarah was mentioning the chip on the shoulder, I'm like, I hope so, man. Yeah. Kyler's so exciting. I hope he returns to being one of those top 5, 7 quarterbacks that he was, a couple of years ago, because the league is better because of it. But I kind of wanted to turn it to you guys, because you guys have been in NFL locker rooms. There's different leadership styles for quarterbacks, and there's no right or wrong way, right? Kyler has a different style, right? What have you seen from maybe your quarterback in the locker room, and what's your preferred style? How do you deal with guys who maybe aren't as vocal or expressive?
For me, when I come from guys, when you have Peyton Manning in your locker room, very vocal, very consistent, tells you what he wants and he expects you to get it done. And then I go to Jacksonville, you have a Blake Bortles, somebody that's maybe just cool, laid back, just wants to do his job, go out there. So for me, it's not so much like to Kelvin Beachum point. I know Kelvin, great guy. But I think you have to understand, first of all, Kelvin's 35, 4 kids and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Kyler's a young kid. I think it's just the age difference might be a thing. But I think you just got to really look at yourself as a player, right? Your quarterback doesn't need to be the one who run. I don't play offense, so, we have a linebacker say, but as defense, we understand I need to get my job done. You know what I mean? That's what I need to do. So I don't think there's a specific way the quarterback needs to be. He just needs to go out there and do his job. And that's why I'm a little hesitant on Kyler Murray, because coming out there and you're the one making plays and making people guess and extending plays for a minute, can you do that with the torn ACL recovery? I don't know. And with the mental part, I just don't know if he's going to be able to, when you go home, you sit down, you hear the noise. We all try to block it out. You try not to watch
everyone
shows.
says they block it out.
But nah, when you're sitting there at home and you're reading it and you know what's going on, you're rubbing your knee, it's like, and you got to go do it 15 more times. It's like, so.
Yeah. I've had 3 quarterbacks. I've had Eli Manning, I have Daniel Jones, and I had now Geno Smith. Eli was very stoic. He wasn't as vocal, but he was a guy who led by example. He was first one in, first one out, and he passed that on to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is the first one in, not first one out.
I like him.
Last one out. I might have been the first one out. He's last one out, so he's always in the building. Probably right now he's in the building. And so that's how Daniel was. And so he might not be talking much, but you see, he's putting in the work. He cares about what we're doing. And then Geno just has that swagger and the confidence. He's talking in the locker room. He's more vocal. Everybody watched Geno Smith growing up, or at least I did. And
did you start your introduction to Geno that way? I watched you growing up, man.
Yeah, I was in
like
6th
that?
grade when you're in the league.
He's like, only 32. What are you saying?
Right.
And so everyone has. I've had 3 quarterbacks who have done it differently, but all can present themselves as an effective leader just by their style.